verses 10 through 11 of the book of Deuteronomy. Even years before the USA's invasion and occupation of Iraq, Iraq was under the sanctions of Chapter 20, Article 20 of the book of Deuteronomy. If Iraq was really powerful, prepared, and ready to defend itself, then the USA would have not attacked Iraq and caused the irreversible destruction and death to Iraq and the Iraqis, and also caused destructions and losses of the American lives and resources of such illegal war based on lies, forgeries, and frauds. It seems that Wilders has no problem with the Nazis' preventive wars and preemptive strikes by the USA, but his problem is only with the Muslim countries of having or trying to have the ability to defend themselves against their enemies. As well as represent the radicalized democratic hypocrisy of the fanatic, extremist, militant, fundamentalist democratic policies of the anti-Islam, anti-the Prophet Abraham international crusade, and or the religious and the political persecution of the Muslims minority communities in the countries of such radicalized leaders. It is the right of not only the Muslim sovereign nation, but every sovereign nation to be strong, prepared, and able, if attacked, to defend itself against its attackers. The principles of 860 of the Quran are adopted by the world communities as in the Charter of the United Nations. Furthermore, the USA and Britain are on the list of the world's top 10 exporters of weapons of mass killings and destruction. If Wilders has a problem with that, then he should amend his fitna and address such issues accordingly. Now the question is, did God abrogate and supersede the rules of engagement of the preemptive wars and preventive strikes of chapter 20, articles 10 through 17 of the book of Deuteronomy of the Holy Bible by the principles of 860 of the Great Quran? Chapter 20, articles 10 through 17 of the book of Deuteronomy of the Old Testament of the Holy Bible states in pertinent part that when you, the followers of the Holy Bible, go near a city, preemptively fight against it, then proclaim an offer of peace to it. That's good. And it shall be that if they accept your offer of peace and open to you, then all the people who are found in it shall be placed under tribute to you, become your slaves, and serve you, as the USA is serving Israel now. Now, if the city will not make peace with you and refuses to be your slave, but war against you in the defense of their independence, liberty, freedom, and sovereignty, then you shall besiege it, as it was done with the sanctions against Iraq and the Iraqis. And when the Lord your God delivers it into your hands, you shall strike, slay, kill every male, including old men, male children, suckling, and infants, in that city with the edge of the sword, as it was done in Iraq. But the women, make them sex slaves, the female children, the livestock, and all that's in the city, all its spoil, you shall plunder for yourself, and you shall eat the enemy's plunder which the Lord your God gives you. Thus you Israelis shall do to all the cities which are very far from you, cities such as but not limited to the USA and Europe, which are not of the cities of these nations who are close to you, but of the cities of these people, which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance. You shall let nothing that breathes remain alive. Use weapons of mass destruction on every and all things that breathes. Commit holocaust, as in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 16, against all the living things. But you shall utterly destroy them, remove them from the face of the map, the earth, by your army, marine, navy, and air force. All the armed forces of the democracy and the civilized, fanatic, extremist, democratic, fundamentalist, radicalized anti-Islam and anti-Prophet Abraham crusade by committing the civilized democratic holocaust as directed by the book of Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 16. It seems that Wilders has no problem with chapter 20 verses 10 through 17 of the book of Deuteronomy of the Holy Bible and its rules of the Holocaust of the book of Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 16. For your information, the USA is serving Israel under Article 10 through 11 of chapter 20 of the book of Deuteronomy of the Old Testament of the Holy Bible, as it was predicted by Mr. Benjamin Franklin, one of the forefathers and the founders of the USA. Mr. Wilders, I would like to know if you have any problems with the story of the vengeance of the Lord, the Holy War articles, and the way the Holy Prophet of God instructed his army concerning the massacre, the Holocaust, and the treatment of the war captives in his holy book. Vengeance of the Lord, the Holy War articles. Take vengeance for the descendants of such and such. Take vengeance for the Lord. This is what the prophet was telling the people. Thousands from you shall be sent to the war. The Holy War articles. And the thousands went to war and killed all the males, and they killed the kings with the sword. And they took the women with their children captives, and took as spoil all their cattle, all their flocks, and all their goods. They also burned with fire, the Holocaust of the book of Deuteronomy chapter 13 verse 16, all the cities where they dwelt, and all their forts. And they took all the spoil, and all the booty of men, women, and children, and beasts. But the prophet was very angry with the officers of his army, and said to them, why did you keep the women alive? Do you believe that? This is what the Holy Prophet said to the people, to his army. Why did you keep the women alive? That's why did you not kill the woman? Why did not you slay the woman? Why did not you murder the woman? Why did not you take the lives of the woman? Why did not you exterminate the woman? Why did not you eradicate the woman? Why did not you slaughter the woman? Why did not you execute the woman? Why didn't you destroy the woman? Then the prophet ordered his army, saying, now therefore kill every male child, every male infant, sickling, child, toddler among the children, and kill every non-virgin woman who has known a man intimately. But keep alive for yourselves as sex slaves all the young virgin girls to rape and enslave. Have them sex slaves for you. Then the Lord spoke to the prophet, saying, count up the plunder that was taken of man, the virgin girls, and beasts, you prophet, and the leaders, and the chiefs of the fathers, and the chiefs, the fathers of your congregation, and divide the plunder into 2 parts, between those who took part in the war, who went out to battle, and all the congregation, and levy a tribute for the Lord on the men of war who went out to battle, 1 of every 500 of the persons, the cattle, the donkeys, and the sheep. So the prophet and the leaders did as God commanded his prophet to do. That was the story, the incident of the vengeance of the Lord, Holy War articles. That is the Shariah, the law of that the Lord commanded his prophet with. Did the merciful Lord God really order his prophet to do as in the story of the vengeance of the Lord, Holy War articles? Mr. Wilders, I want you to state your honest comment on the story of the vengeance of the Lord, Holy War articles, not to me, but to your audience. But before you do that, please let me help you and help others by informing you that the prophet in the story of the vengeance of the Lord, Holy War article was not the Honorable Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet of Mercy, and the Sharia was not the Sharia or the law according to the merciful Quran. The Prophet and the vengeance of the Lord article, Holy War articles, according to the Holy Bible, was the Honorable Prophet Moses, and the Sharia and the law was the Sharia, the law of the Old Testament of Moses, the Mosaic law. or the Shariah of the Lord as implemented by the Honorable Prophet Moses.